All right, let's start with Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Dave, how you doing?
How you doing? How's everybody?
Good, thanks.
Good.
Hey, was just wondering with regard to Tommy Townsend, he's from a punting family, much like Dustin was. Do you find with a specialized thing like punting that maybe having somebody to rely on other than your coach kind of helps, and being from a punting family might be some kind of advantage?
It certainly doesn't hurt. The kid's got a lot of talent. We really liked him coming out. I had him rated the best punter coming out this year, and he was available for us, and those guys got it done to get him. So it was a pretty good deal.
What do you like about him and Newsome, and what do you think each needs to prove to you to earn the job?
Well, number one thing is it is going to be a true competition. I mean, there's nobody really out in front right now. I mean, as we look at it, I like them both. They both got really, really strong legs, really powerful leg. They consistently hit over 5.0 hang times, it's real impressive. Tommy's a little bit more, I'd say, clean in his technique as far as consistency, whereas Tyler's a little bit more erratic with his technique, but the results are the same. They both bomb the ball. We just need to clean Tyler up a little bit more. But I tell you what, it's going to be fun. The competition is going to be real fun.
Let's go to Mick Schaefer. Go ahead, Mick.
Hey, Coach, how's it going? Thanks for doing this.
How you doing? Yeah.
Great. So what all will you be missing without Dustin Colquitt, punting, being on your team, being in the locker room, everything?
Well, Dustin, I mean, first off, I mean, he's the best punter I ever coached. So, best punter I've ever been around. And he's such a great person, great team leader, just a great teammate for everybody. He was, you never knew what he was going to do. He was always going to have some kind of joke or, practical joke or something just to make everybody laugh in the room. And he was so great in the community, with his team smile, what he did there, and just an awesome family man, spiritual guy. He's going to be missed. He's going to be hard to replace. But I mean, that's the way the NFL is. Sometimes, things change, and we need to move on.
Let's go to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, thank you for taking some time with us. I was curious about Antonio Hamilton and what you think he may be able to provide your unit in particular.
Yeah, Antonio he's a special guy. I mean, he's a guy that, obviously can play gunner, and those are valuable players. So, and he's a productive gunner. So, we're penciling him in right now to be a 4-phase starter for us right now. So we haven't even had a meeting yet. We will Thursday. And he'll find out about that. He is going to be a 4-phase starter, but really, I don't think he's going to hit the ground running for us. I mean, he's a guy that can come in and make plays, and you see him do it. You see him do it at the Giants, and I think we're really, really fortunate to have him.
Let's go to Sarin Petro. Go ahead, Sarin.
Coach, thank you for the time. And I know everybody's got to deal with this situation, right? Doing everything via these Zoom calls and everything, but. For special teams versus, offense and defense, you use the whole field on most of what you do. Is it harder on special teams and getting ready for special teams than it is for offense and defense having these limitations?
Well, I mean, right now, I mean, we're kind of fortunate because those guys can get together. They can get together and kick and work on the operation, and and they could do that on their own. So we can work our skill set. Whereas, to play football, it's kind of tough to have, you need 22 guys out there, and it's good for us to be able at this time to be able to do those kind of things. I mean, we can't sit down and meet, face to face, and I can't be out there watching them. That's the unfortunate thing. But they video everything that they do, and they send it to me, and then we talk about it on virtual, virtually.
But schematically, as far as like covering kicks and doing that kind of things, is that
we just back? It's going to set us back a little bit. I mean, because right during this time of the year is where you're working fundamentals with everybody else, and that's going to be set back. But everybody's in the same boat. We're just going to have to, hit the ground running when we do get to camp, and we are to get together. So, it's just we're a little bit behind right now. I mean, if you compare it to where we were last year, but everybody's in the same boat. So. The good thing is we got a lot of guys coming back. We had a young group last year, and this is now going to be a lot of those guys second, third year now, and I think we're going to be okay, in those areas.
Let's go to BJ Kissel. Go ahead, BJ.
Hey, Coach. Good to see you. I want to ask about the draft class as a whole, just because it seems like from Willie Gay Jr. to the cornerbacks they drafted, they got long, athletic, big, fast guys, which are always going to, appeal to you on special teams. Just how much were you involved in that and watching those guys leading up to the draft, and how quickly did you start, figuring out potential roles for those guys, just seeing, their pure athleticism and size and all those characteristics?
Well, those guys did a great job, first of all, getting those players, and not only those players, but the free agents we got too. There's a lot of good players there too in that group. But yeah, we evaluate each one of them, Clyde, Willie, Sneed, Keys. We had grades on each one of those players, special teams grades. And, what we do, we work with Veach, and if we have two players that are close, we're going to take we'll take the special teams guy has a higher special teams grade than the other. And all of these guys had good special teams grades. So I'm real excited about every one of them. They all got speed. They all got good height. Clyde's not the tallest guy in the world, but he's so elusive. I just picture him playing PP for us on the punt team, where he could get a direct snap and take off, and he could do a lot of things in that area. But we're also going to find out if he can tackle too. I mean, he's never done it before. We've talked a couple times virtually, and he's never done it, but he's looking forward to it. They're all excited, and I'm excited to have all of them.
Let's go to Vahe. Go ahead, Vahe. Oh, Vahe, you got us? All right, Vahe, we're going to try to come back to you in a second here. Let's go to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Dave. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for doing this. I know you just mentioned a little bit ago that I guess you guys may have not had a full player Zoom meeting in terms of special teams guys, but how do you anticipate those meetings going? How many players do you think you have that are going to be involved? And what are the differences knowing that you're going to work with guys from both offense and defense and try to build some level of understanding when you guys do finally get to camp?
Yeah, right now I got 59 invitations out, that they're all going to sign in. So those are the guys that'll be, hopefully they'll all be on there, which they will. And then we'll sit down and we'll look at a review of last year real quick, and then we'll look at the depth chart, where I think everybody's going to be plugged in. Like Willie Gay, he's going to find out that he's going to be a four-phase starter right off the bat. We're going to pencil him in as that guy. So, all the way across the board, they're going to find out where they sit, what position they're going to play. We'll hit a little bit of punt on the first day, a little bit, we'll install punt again, like nobody knows what they're doing. We'll start off with that, and then we'll watch clips of our first day. We're going to watch Pringle. We're going to watch his good plays and his bad plays from the whole entire season. And when you do that, you kind of you find the pluses and minuses. It also teaches the young players what we're looking for: what is good, what is bad, what's bad effort, what's good effort. What happens if you miss a tackle, and sometimes you can turn it into a positive play, those type of things. Basically, how we are philosophy-wise, what we expect.
Okay, Vahe, I think
There's Vahe.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
How you doing, Dave?
Good. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you. Hey, I'm just curious what you might be able to tell us about how you're able to bring Andy Hill in, to what degree you're able to do that right now, if he's actually arrived. And obviously you go a long way back with Andy. What's made him appealing to join you guys?
Yeah, Andy and I go way back to Missouri days, back in the 90s. He was on the Larry Smith staff. We're all on the Larry Smith staff together. And, obviously he's a experienced, he's been at Missouri for 24 years as a position coach. I think he was actually assistant head coach at one time, offensive coordinator. He's been at all there, and we've always stayed in touch. We communicated all the time, and last year in particular, mostly last year, because he handled the special teams. He had the whole special teams unit, so we really spent a lot more time together. As far as on the phone and him visiting, because he was in town all the time recruiting. But we're really good friends, and it was really, I tried to talk him out of it. I told him, I said, this job, you got to do a lot of bullshit stuff, and he goes, hey, because you're not going to talk me out of it. I want to do it. I want to get in the NFL. And he convinced me, and then I went in and convinced Andy Reid that it would be a great hire to have him. So, we got it done, and I'm real happy to have him.
All right, guys, we've got time for a few more, so we're going to go Harold, Matt, and then Herbie. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, Dave. Hope you're doing all right. I think a couple people alluded to this, maybe they did, but when it comes to a point where you have just training camp and you know how important this special teams is to make the final 53 with a lot of these guys, are you going to have to try to tailor anything differently in your decision-making, or just have some kind of process in mind before you even get into what it potentially would be a training camp, however that may act, to make those final decisions on the rosters with an idea in place or anything of that nature?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's going to be one of the challenges. You're not going to get near as many reps to evaluate these guys. Like usually we come into camp and I have an idea, okay, this guy can do this, he can do that. We're not going to know any of that, So, we got to make faster decisions, quicker decisions. We're going to rely on the preseason games. Hopefully we have preseason games. Those are going to be critical because that's the only time we get live tackling and live blocking. So for us, those are going to be huge. And hopefully, at the end of the day, we make the correct decisions. But like I said before, everybody's in the same boat. And the good thing is we already have a core group of good players, and we're going to filter in some of these young players in spots. So we think they all can play, especially the draft picks. So we'll find good spots for them. It may be during the year where we end up really getting our solid group together. Great question, though.
All right, let's go to Matt Derrick. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Coach, thanks for your time.
Yeah.
When Tyreek was going into year 2, you really reduced his role on special teams, took him off kick returns, and his punt return numbers were fewer. Is your kind of expectation is that you may end up doing the same thing with Mecole this year as he gets more involved on offense? And are you looking at some of these, whether it's the rookie class or the undrafted free agents who might be return guys?
Yeah, we start everybody off as a returner. I put everybody back there like pre-practice. You notice we have like 20 guys out there sometimes. And so you never know. You find guys, diamonds in the rough, guys that haven't done it before, like Niall Davis. Never did it in college. He ended up doing it in the NFL. So, everybody will start there. Everybody's a 4-phase guy, including Clyde. I mean, Clyde's going to be playing everything. He's never done anything before, and Willie Gay and all those guys. But yeah, true. I'm not sure about Hardman. I don't want to lose him. I think he's just scratched the surface as a returner. He hasn't reached his potential yet. He could be even better. I think he knows that, and hopefully we can keep him in those roles. It's important. It's important that to get the ball in guys' hands that can make plays, and he's one of them.
All right, let's go to Herbie to close us out. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Coach, thanks for doing this. Hope you're well, man.
Doing great.
Hey, in addition to looking for a new punter, you're also going to be looking for a new holder this year. And you mentioned you're not out there watching the guys when they get together, but how much are you going to find yourself relying on what Harrison tells you about the holding and even James with their input before you are finally able to get them together to evaluate?
Yeah, that's good. Good question. Harrison and James have kind of took the leadership role in that whole. They know how important that part of it is. And Harrison, I guarantee it, Harrison will outwork anybody in the world, and he's going to have these guys work just as hard. So if he ever misses a field goal, it's not going to be because of a bad hold. And those guys are going to get so many reps, and both of them could do it. They've been working. They're up here on their own, doing their own thing, and they're getting they video stuff. So I'm getting to see it, and we're working through things right now as far as the holding stuff. And both guys that we have, Tommy and Tyler, can both hold. So. And then Tommy did it last year, started on Florida's team. So, they're both experienced, and you're right. It is an important job, and, those guys they'll rise to the occasion.
Coach, we appreciate you taking the time today. Thanks for joining us.
You got it. Good to see everybody, man. See you soon.